Hello everyone, and welcome to the Very Reasonable Pilots podcast. I'm your host, Charles. Along with me, as always, my co-host, editor, producer, co-pilot, and gunner, Jacob Gloth. How you doing today, Jacob?
I am swell.
Are you ready to pitch a brand new televisual series?
I'm sure you are, because it's your turn this week.
Yep. I've got an idea for a show right now. Here it goes. It's about...
Wait, Charles, I just noticed that I actually do have an idea.
Oh, wait, really? Good, because I was just going to come up with some random nonsense off the top of my head. Probably about...
That's good.
So, like, something I see on my desk, and just, like, anthropomorphize it, and then make a TV show about it. You know?
Yeah, that's what you always do anyway, so it's okay.
I mean, kinda, yeah. It's gonna be about two straws that make a life for one another living inside of a pint glass. A glass pint glass, you know? Those as opposed to a plastic pint glass.
As opposed to the plexi, I don't know, some other material.
As opposed to a denim pint glass.
Denim, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
There's a guy out there he makes denim glasses. Like,
I saw a picture of a guy with a denim helmet. Did you see that? The gelmet, it was called.
I didn't see that, but that sounds very unsafe.
It's hilarious. It's not very protective. He was riding a motorcycle wearing a gelmet.
That seems like a bad idea. Unless he'd already fallen off the motorcycle and suffered severe head trauma, then that makes sense why he would think the jean helmet would be a good idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
Now, I'm going to guess 3 words. I'm going to say 3 words, and you got to tell me if any of the 3 have anything to do with your show that you're pitching today.
Okay.
All right. Space.
Yep.
Cowboys.
Nope.
A main female character.
Yep.
All right, cool. I got 2 out of 3. That's not bad.
Yeah, well, your last one was a 50-50, so...
Yeah, I mean, we could have...
Main female character. Okay, sure, you had a 50% chance of getting that right.
Hey, don't qualify my win. It's still a win. Hey, I've got an idea for a great show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's called Bestiality Inspectors. All right, it's about...
All right, anyway, my show, you know what, I picked a title, but I want to tell you the other ones I wrote, just because, you know?
Yeah, please do.
So the other ones I wrote were Nosedive,
Mm-hmm.
Stranger Worlds,
Okay.
and Frontier Fritz. The one I picked, though, is The Far Out, which is the one
I like that one the best, too.
Mm-hmm. But I did like Stranger Worlds, but I felt like it was too similar to other stuff. Like that new Disney movie, Strange Worlds, which is coming out.
Yeah. It sounds like a sequel series to a show we did called Strange Worlds. You know?
Stranger Worlds.
Ooh. But yeah, I like The Far Out.
The premise is that the whole story takes place in a newly colonized system called the Butterfly System.
Ooh.
It's called the Butterfly System because it's kind of shaped like a butterfly.
Are there any butterflies in the Butterfly System?
I mean, it's all different creatures from Earth, so, like, we could do, like, a butterfly-like creature.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're, like light bugs or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe more, and actually, they'd be really good on a planet I have called Eclipse, which is, always completely eclipsed by another planet.
Uh-huh. Okay. And it's got all these bugs.
Maybe that planet could have these light bugs to, like, provide sunlight.
And
well, I guess you still have light during an eclipse, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, but, like, maybe their wings are the light up part of their body rather than their asses, you know, like on Earth.
That'd be look cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, I guess I'll get right into it. So the main planet is Century, it's called.
Okay.
Like 100. Not like a guard. You know what I mean?
Not a century, a century.
A century.
Yeah, with a U.
A century. Yep.
Yeah.
Big news here.
Big spelling fans here at the Very Reasonable Pilots podcast.
Yep, we're huge on it. Anyway, it's a resource-rich planet with a terraforming effort underway by the nations of Earth. It's the only public planet in the system, which meaning like the rest are private, owned by corporations or
individuals with lots of money. Yeah.
Yep. The capital city on this partially formed half of the planet. So like half the planet is like lush, normal Earth-looking stuff, and the other half is like hellscape desert.
Okay,
bars
full of monsters and probably bandits or crazy people who are out there with their weird sci-fi guns and their weird sci-fi dune buggies.
Maybe some cowboys. You could be right with all three.
Yeah.
If we just tossed them in there.
Just toss one cowboy in.
Yeah, they're like split in half. Troy is the capital city. It's on the nice half. It's a golden paradise for diplomats, the wealthy, and anyone with a landing permit.
Is there?
So it's like Utopia, but you need a entry key card.
Yeah, like New Vegas in Fallout New Vegas. You need to pay to get in, but once you're in, you're like, this is fucking rad, bro.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Is there? Is Troy's like animal logo? Because every city has an animal. Is their animal a horse? Because that could be fun.
Sure, yeah. They got a giant golden horse in the center of the city.
Yeah. And it's so far in the future, they're like, we don't really know why Troy was obsessed with horses, but we just see through a lot of historical records the Trojan horse is a thing.
Oh, that could be good for something at the end of the show.
Oh.
All right,
I'm coming up with plot
here,
devices.
But remember that,
all
the
right.
horse, all right? Because I might forget by the time I get to the end.
Keeping it up here.
Anyway, so most of the population live around Century in these like colonial prefab towns. Like cookie cutter, drop it down.
Yeah.
Flops open.
The McMansion
live here now.
situation where they just like plop it down and it's there, and they all.
That's most of the towns and buildings and stuff outside of Century. So Century's nice utopia, unique homes. All the towns are kind of these prefabs built in like factories.
Yeah. Cool.
And there's rabid creatures all over the place that are from the unterraformed half, but have come on into the terraformed half and like sort of adapted to it, and are like, "This is awesome.
This is great. We love eating garbage.
Lots of food and stuff.
Yeah,
this is awesome." Next, we got Phil's, which is a corporate war planet. It's resource rich like Century, except it's not publicly owned. So there's 4 corporations fighting a violent like total war for the planet.
Yeah. Maybe slowly.
And ironically, they're destroying and using all the resources on the planet.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like that. And are they like all like basically the same corporation, just like slightly different colors, or are they just like, totally different?
I got names from them. We'll get into it. Yeah. But because they're important to the story.
Yay, stories.
Next, we've got Eclipse. That's a fun one. Eclipse is completely eclipsed by Century because it's like behind it, the sun's in front. You know what I mean? I don't know the science behind that, where you could make a planet entirely eclipsed always, but it's the way it is.
Yeah.
So
maybe Eclipse is like
don't try to explain it.
It's caught in the same orbit as Century, and so they move at the same time.
Why do you do this?
Is Century? Can I ask a question about Century? Is Century called Century because 1 year in Century time is 100 Earth years? Because that could be fun.
No, I just like the name.
Okay. It's just like, the planet moves way slower for whatever reason. And so like it takes them 100 years to orbit around the sun. That could be an idea. Century. 1 billion centuries.
Yeah. The actual Earth system doesn't really play into the story, so I guess we could do that. I don't really I don't need Earth to be like communicating.
Yeah.
In like a time related.
Thing.
Essence. It doesn't matter. Anyway, Eclipse. Mostly uninhabited, but not completely.
Ooh.
Eclipse is home to a small underground city of rebels who want independence. The city is called Dreg. The rebels are like, they don't like, they want the butterfly system to be independent of the nations of Earth. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like they want to be their own.
Yeah. Make their
thing.
own laws and, come up with their own rules, because Earth laws don't apply out here. We're butterflies. Yeah. We're free.
And so they don't like Sentry. They're chill with all the other planets in the system. The corporations, they just don't like Sentry.
Yeah. So they like laissez-faire capitalists, or are they more like,
They're like, we want to be independent.
Okay. Cool.
That's it, really.
That's it.
They're like the American revolutionists. They're like, no taxation without representation.
Mm-hmm. That's what I mean.
We want out.
We want out of this hoo-ha. We want to start our own hoo-ha.
We don't want to be ruled by people that are, well, actually, that could work with your Sentry thing. We don't want to be ruled by people that are like in a completely different time frame than we are.
Yeah, oblivious to how we live our lives. Only interested in us because we have lots of resources.
There's also a religious cult there called the Paches.
Apaches.
What's your guess about the Paches? What does that name make you think?
Of apocalypse. So that makes me think that...
No, they're pacifists.
Oh, okay.
Pache.
Okay, that makes sense.
Peace. They're a pacifist cult. Oh. I thought it'd be fun to have a nice cult, Mm-hmm. Their whole thing is they're peaceful.
They're peaceful and nice, and they like give you food and water, but they're still a cult.
Most of our religions are crazy.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd just have one that's like just chill.
Yeah, that's one that's the definitive best option.
They're pacifists. They just sort of hang out.
Hang out.
Not really much to them. Just having a good time. Maybe painting some art, having some sip and paint nights.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sip and paint, eating mushrooms. Fun stuff.
And then finally on that planet, there's a corp called the 646, which makes canned goods. 646. So they make like canned tuna or something, but for alien.
Yeah, they make it out of alien things. They just take alien dirt. Turns out you can eat the dirt on Eclipse. It tastes terrible, but it's nutrient rich. So eat it. Yum, yum, yum.
Yeah, they've got a little bit of pepper in it or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Then we've got Lanka, which is a prison planet owned by Prison Corps, a government contracted incarceration service. The entire planet is for convicts. It's kind of like an Australia situation, except that
it's a whole planet.
Some areas have maximum security in the mantle of the planet.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
and above,
that's cool.
and then on the planet, there's a planetary shield, which shields it so that people can't just fly ship off.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that makes sense.
Fly in.
We could start to introduce that planet. We could start with a prison break is happening. These guys get the prisoners get a handle on one of the ships, and they just take off, and we see the guard, and everybody takes aim, and he says no, let him go, and everyone's like, huh, what? Oh, okay, and
there's no life forms aboard that planet.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they're about to get away, and it just explodes, and this reverb shows.
Oh, I thought you were gonna do a Star Wars thing.
No, I was doing a more of an Elysium thing. The movie Elysium.
I see. And then it's there's a shield. Whoa.
Oh no.
Crazy. Only how that one guard knew and the others didn't.
It's crazy.
Must have not read the intro material.
Maybe most of them can't read. That could be something, because they're
Most of the guards can't read?
Yeah, most of the guards can't read because they're the lowest rung workforce of the planet. The commanding officers can read, but the lowly goons with their guns and sticks can't read. Because that's a good way of keeping the populace, in check.
I was thinking we don't actually have a lot of security because it's kind of like Australia, they just drop these people here. They're fed for yourself.
Yeah.
We have some maximum security prisons for certain crazy
people, political dissidents, rebels, that sort of thing. Because this planet sounds ripe for a great episode where we heist one of the prisoners off because they're really important to the revolution or something.
Well, I mean, the planet is intricate in the story, so we'll get there.
Good.
Then the last planet, there's one more. It's called Horus, which is a gas giant. But the last planet, really, because Horus is just a gas planet, it was only necessary so that I could complete the butterfly shape.
Yeah.
Is Sahara. Sahara, they thought was a desert planet, but it's not. It's actually a very good agricultural planet. So what they thought was deserts was actually just like wheat fields.
Oh, so they saw it from
like, oh,
space, and they were like, it's sand. Like, let's skip
It's
this
worthless, but then it's not. So Sahara is like the counter to Phil's. Well, where Phil's is like where the corporations are all at war. Sahara is split pretty evenly, and all the corps just make food.
Yeah.
There, it's pretty peaceful.
It's pretty good. It's peaceful. It's nice. Everyone's holding hands, singing Kumbaya.
I know I still haven't gotten to this story yet, but I'm gonna explain the corps, and then we'll get into it.
Yeah.
So 646, they're small timers. They make the canned food. They're actually pretty nice compared to the others.
Yeah.
They have a sort of fumbling ambition to them. Their leader, his name's Ferris Frank. He's very nice and overly accommodating to anyone that they run into.
Oh. So they have the
And
least
he wants to be
human rights
stronger, but
violation.
is incompetent.
Okay. Ferris Franks, was that his name?
Ferris Frank.
All right, Ferris Frank.
It'll be important later. Remember, Ferris Frank. Then we have Sunset. Sunset is the deadliest corp. They build weapons of mass destruction. Their leader, her name is Mads Parker. Mm-hmm. She's slightly crazy, trigger happy, and kind of like a destroyer of worlds sort of person.
That should be on her desk. How
Kind of like a destroyer of worlds.
They'll have
sort of
the triangle thing, and it says their name and then their title, and it's just her name, and underneath it says Destroyer of Worlds. That's on her business cards. She's like, yeah, that's what I do. It's my job.
Next, we have her brother, General Brickwall Parker, who's the leader of SD, the defense contractor that builds homes, walls, and defense platforms. So that's
Yeah.
He has the sort of counter corp to hers.
They keep each other in balance.
He's very terrified of everything, and he hides in a pillow fort.
But it's a pillow fort with turrets out front or something.
Yeah. So you'd go through a massive high security base, and at the very end of it is him in a pillow fort with a turret or something.
Yeah, that's good.
So you get through all these layers of metal walls and guns and guards, and at the end is General Brickwall Park.
Hi. Who are you guys? Can you please go? And then the main characters
it's
kick
clear
over.
he's got some trauma issues related to his sister.
Yeah, she probably beat him up when he was younger.
Yeah. And our last corp is All Products. It's not just a product, it's all products.
All of them?
Yep. It's a massive conglomerate that makes everything. Their only issue is they have a very inefficient board and sort of corporate bureaucracy.
They are the Warner Brothers.
And they're unable to make decisions. Completely incapable. They could probably take out SD, Sunset, and 646 very easily, but they're so imbued in their own inner corporate politics that they can't focus on anything besides themselves.
Yeah, that's good. I like it. They're the Warner Media of these space companies.
Yeah.
So stupid and bureaucratic that they can't do anything right. It's good.
So, now we've got the world building out of the way. Let's get to the actual story. What's kind of funny is I read the pilot episode, that I realized that the person that I made the main character would be better off as a side character.
That is funny.
So the original pilot episode is now episode 3, and the pilot is about Venture. Venture is a young psychiatrist from Troy who is disgruntled with her parents, and she wants to explore the world and write a psychiatric book about all the different types of people in the Butterfly Galaxy. Mm-hmm. She wants to have adventures,
and her last name
Maybe
is
that's why
Brothers.
her name's named Venture. Yeah,
that's her. Not. It's her full name. Venture Brothers. That's good.
Yeah,
but I like that. That is a good name for a protagonist.
So she's always prescribing people. So everyone she meets, she's always like, I see you're a bit type A. Oh, you've got
social anxiety disorder.
Sociopathic.
Yeah.
You're intensely clinging to your past relationships.
Yeah, it's like, I just ordered mint chocolate chip ice cream. How are you coming up with these diagnoses? She's like, oh.
And she does it because she's trying to prove that she's smart.
Yeah.
That's her thing. She wants to prove to other people that she's smart. And the way she does it is by prescribing them with their own mental issues, which, no one really likes.
Yeah, it sounds annoying, but it's good.
And she likes to act tough, but isn't really, because she was raised to, in a very nice place.
Yeah.
Hates authority because of her parents, and desperately wants to prove she isn't spoiled. So she'll always take, like, the worst bed or the worst thing because she wants to prove she's not spoiled. But she's the least equipped for these situations.
Will she then complain about it, or will she just bite her tongue and be like, ugh?
She will never complain about it because she,
she needs
wants to prove she isn't spoiled.
Yeah.
No matter how bad it is, no matter how much worse it is than any standards okay for a human being, she won't complain because she wants to prove that she's not
a spoiled brat.
Spoiled.
She's like, her whole adventuring party, they just like sleep in like nice warm silken beds, and she has to sleep in like a pile of cow dung. She's like, no, it's fine.
Yeah.
Not a big deal.
It's fine. It's perfectly fine.
It's fine. I chew. I'm allergic to cows, but it's fine. I chew.
Yeah, no. That's exactly her character. So she's applying to be a field psych in the first episode for the government, but her parents reroute her through their connections to a cushy university job.
Okay.
So promptly, after yelling at her parents and getting upset and having a whole situation, she runs away to a nearby colonial town called Yesterday.
That's a good name.
And she gets there and she's like, I'm just going to do it by myself. I don't need anyone. I don't need, I don't need the support of the government. I can just start writing my book myself, freelance style.
Yeah.
And
like a journalist.
She gets to the town, she goes to a bar, and immediately a bunch of people try to rob her. Because they're like, oh my god, she's like some kid from Troy out in the town. This is too good to be true.
Yeah.
We'll just rob her.
It's the entire bar tries to rob her, like the guy behind the counter, all the people who are like asleep in their beds upstairs, they come down and they're like, oh yeah, give me all your money. It's a whole thing. It becomes a town event, like a stoning.
Yeah, everyone. But just as they're about to get her, she's saved by a mysterious woman at the bar, who is pretty tough, but is very pessimistic and kind of an asshole, and kind of quippy, but like in a, satirical, hateful kind of way, like making fun of everything.
Sounds like a
kinda
really good
Poison Ivy in Harley Quinn.
Oh yeah, okay. Sounds like a good protagonist.
Yeah, that was the original protagonist. Anyway, so this person, her name is Dream, saves her. Dream is an idealistic, well, actually, I'll get to that later. She's an asshole, who's got massive trust issues, extremely pessimistic, super lazy, but she's highly intelligent and very skilled.
Yeah.
She also gardens.
Oh, that's nice. That's a good, nice little quality.
A little side trait there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, all these, crazy issues immediately forces Venture to be interested in her, not only because she saved her life, but also because she's, like, perfect character for the book. I need her.
Yeah.
I need to analyze her, which Dream does not take well to. And like, I imagine this relationship is sort of like Venture diagnosing Dream's problems and Dream like hitting her or shoving her or putting tape over her mouth or something like that. Nothing like overly violent, but something that would like shut her up.
Yeah. But the only thing
like
that
she starts prescribing her and Dream like shuts the door on her so that she can't hear her anymore.
Yeah, or like just,
Puts a shield or a helmet on her face.
starts driving faster so the engine like drowns her out, and then it just never stops her talking. But the only time Venture ever stops talking is when Dream like diagnoses her. You know? That could be a fun scene. They're like tied together, they're both in chairs, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade style. And Venture is just like, oh, well, if you had worked on your trust issues and your blah, 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 then the blah, 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 blah. And Dream is like, well, maybe you shouldn't be so, like, maybe you shouldn't require everyone's approval. Maybe you shouldn't be so obsessed with proving that you're not a spoiled brat, even though you fucking are, and that's the only time she gets put in her place. I think that could be fun. And a good way of showing how smart Dream is, even if she's not a psychologist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, they get arrested for murder because Dream did just murder all those people. And they are on a government-controlled planet.
Yeah.
And they get shoved in a spaceship to be sent off to the prison planet Lanka, as we discussed earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where they meet Agro and Shin on the spaceship. These are two other people that have been, well, one's a person, the other's a robot.
Can I guess
put on
which?
the ship as well. Which?
I'm gonna guess Agro is the robot and Shin is the person.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because one's a name and the other's a freaking
adjective.
Yeah, it's kind of obvious, I feel like. Anyway, Shin sort of explains that he was taken from his family at a young age on Lanka because he was born on the planet, but he's not a criminal, so he gets born there, and they're like, well, you're not a criminal, we'll take you off.
Yeah.
And so he's immediately separated from his family at a young age.
Mm-hmm.
And he joined a corp war on with SD on Phil's, so we get to see like some montage of him fighting.
Yeah.
Like some memory thing, because he's explaining them on this on the trip over there. And during this whole story, Dream is like insulting him on the way, like, why are you telling us? We don't care. No one cares about your stupid backstory. And he's like, shut up, it's important, okay? And he keeps going. And he's like, yeah, I was joined the SD on Phil's. I served a tour because, I needed, some sort of structure in my life after my family's taken away from me.
Yeah, as most people do.
And he was going to serve another tour, but he was discharged for exceeding the life expectancy and the average salary.
Yeah.
So because they were going to have to pay him too much because he had survived for too long, they kicked him off.
That's funny. Maybe we can see like each, front between the battles, between the corporations is like a different kind of warfare. That could be fun. Like Sunset versus what's the defense one?
SD.
Yeah. That war is more like a trench warfare because they're, both so well equipped. And then, the other warfares could be like more like just like ancient Napoleonic wars of them just standing in fields next to one another shooting muskets, but they're laser muskets.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Shin, he's getting into like his flaws in character. He desperately needs acceptance and to feel loved because he never had it because he was taken away from his family.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a soft spot for criminals. He's a muffin of a guy, he's a teddy. He really just wants to hang out. He's a friend.
Yeah.
He's clingy and maybe a little dumb as well.
Got kicked in the head in the war.
Just like a little dumb.
Yeah.
Not like he's not a complete idiot, but
he's not as smart as
oh.
Dream or Venture.
He's like dumb in a kind of like a cute way, where you're like, oh, honey.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You're so naive.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's Shin. Agro, one of my favorite characters here. He's a humanoid robot thing, very strong. He's an agricultural droid from Sahara who accidentally got implanted with a personality chip, so he has like a whole consciousness to him.
Yeah. He's an aggro. He's a real aggro kind of person, you know?
He's always making up extremely tragic backstories for sympathy, constantly lying, and uses the stories of others in his lies, like to pretend that like they're his.
Yeah.
And everything other people say, he always tries to one-up them. Mm-hmm. And he's a constant interrupter.
Sounds great.
So he's got a plethora of issues. So throughout this whole ship journey, Shin's telling his backstory. Agro's interrupting with his more tragic stories that are clearly not true.
Yeah.
Dream is shitting on Shin for telling his story because she doesn't see the point of it and doesn't care. Mm-hmm. And Venture is super interested in all of this and is diagnosing everyone with all their issues.
Yeah. And everyone is being annoyed by her, but they're like...
Yeah, everyone's being annoyed by each other.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds great. That sounds like a fun episode to write.
So, this is the pilot still. So this is like the end of the pilot, though. So we get the whole crew together. They're all bickering. And eventually, Shin explains that his plan is to go back to the planet and find his parents. Mm-hmm. Venture's like, yes, we have to go. Agro's like, yeah, sure, I'll go, because he doesn't really have anything going on.
Yeah,
he's a robot.
He's a robot. He's got to
probably
find.
I was gonna say that Agro probably is already kind of friends with Shin.
Yeah,
like because they were on the ship together for a little bit and had already agreed. And Dream doesn't want to go, but will go.
They're trapped on
because she thinks she sees it as a way to get off this prison planet, right?
Yeah.
She's like, I'm only going because we're gonna get off this planet after we find your parents.
Yeah, we're gonna figure a way off this rock. And so
all right, so the episode ends with them like in the processing line for the planet. Mm-hmm. And they break out of the line because Agro just rips a hole in the fence because he's a massive giant robot.
He's a big robot, man, and he's probably super strong. He's like Bender from Futurama.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you've never seen Futurama. I forget. I always forget.
Have not.
But yeah, he's got super strength, but sometimes forgets that he has it, or doesn't use it because he likes to watch people struggle.
Damn. That's pretty cruel.
Yeah.
Maybe we could have the same voice actor voice Agro.
Get John DiMaggio. Get Joe DiMaggio, the baseball player. Bring him back from the dead. Get him to voice this robot.
Did you know he dunks? He dunks his donuts.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's from Seinfeld. I don't know if he actually dunks his donuts or not.
Do you know that there is
Joe DiMaggio dunks.
There's an Italian restaurant in the city I live in called DiMaggio's, and it's named after Joe DiMaggio. It's named after Joe DiMaggio. And they've got
what the hell?
They've got a bunch of pictures on him on the menu for some reason. It's like, what? You don't even play baseball here.
Yeah.
And it's like,
you guys don't even have baseball.
The food's not even that good. Take that, Joe DiMaggio. Hope you're rolling in your grave. Unless you got cremated, then I hope you're rolling in your urn.
Yeah, okay.
Hope you roll it right off the mantelpiece that it's kept on, probably. I mean, that's where you keep urns.
All right, here we go. We're turning up now. High energy. Finish here.
Yes.
To the next 3 episodes and then season arc I'm going to do here. So, they're out. They're on the planet Lanka. Wandering the wilds. They're fighting monsters.
Yeah.
Dream gets stung by a truth lizard. Yep, there's some sort of lizard-like creature that when it stabs you, it inserts truth serum. Obviously, Venture takes advantage of this situation and asks her probing questions to get her backstory. That's right, it's the backstory episode.
Yes, backstory
Dream,
episode.
Boom. So we're going, I gotta go back a page because this was originally the pilot when Dream was the main character, but she isn't now.
She's not anymore. She's not interesting enough. You need to have someone naive to be the audience surrogate, so they can see the world through her eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how television works. That's how most media works. Unless you're a video game character, then you're protagonist can be
Blank
as
slate.
Yeah, can be as naive as possible.
Anyways, Dream was born on Century at a small prefab town, but she got pushed off their lands because the family was farmers, but they were farming illegally on corp land.
Oh no!
Because the corporation, while it's a public planet, the corporation still owns most of the farmland.
Yeah.
And so they get pushed off, and they're like, "Oh, the government, they made us get off our land."
Oh no!
And I moved to a small town called Yesterday, and that's where she was in the pilot. Oh my god, it's the same.
It's
It's near Troy. She's filled with rage at a young age and hates the government because blah 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 blah. They took away her jobs.
Maybe her dad like lost his hand farming, in a farming accident, and then like 2 days later they got kicked off their farm before he could save enough money to afford a robot hand. And then that they moved to Yesterday.
And now he can't work, and so they're leaving poverty in this small town, and she's mad at the government, essentially.
And then Mom leaves.
And then she's like, I want to get revenge, so she sneaks onto a rebel ship to Eclipse, where she joins up with the rebellion at Dreg. We get like a little montage for training and indoctrination.
Yeah.
And through this we get little hints of incompetence about the poor regime of the rebels.
Yeah,
and the lack of missions also.
They mostly just were sitting around playing cards. And it was like, well, we would send you out, but we have no idea what time it is because there's no sun or anything. So, yeah, it's really difficult to plan missions when you have no idea what the day is.
That's why, yep.
Yep, it's the only reason.
And so she's pissed, and she was the top of her class, and she's the best fighter the rebels got, but she's never gone on a single mission to prove herself, and she's upset.
Yeah.
And so her anger boils over, and she sneaks into Handsaw Hank's office. He's the leader of the rebels, Handsaw Hank. To steal plans and do her own solo attack. Instead, she finds that the whole resistance is on the take. What?
Oh my god, they're on the take? From the corpos?
Yep, they're getting paid by the corpse.
Oh, jeez.
The corpse are paying them to just be a rebellion so that
to pretend to fight
we
them.
can get the exhausted energy from the people.
Yeah.
Their anger can go to somewhere, to like this rebellion people.
Mm-hmm.
But rebellion actually doesn't do anything. And so in her anger, Dream exposes the truth and steals the ship in the chaos, crashing back onto Century. And then she's like, sort of reserves herself to just waste her days with the money she has that she stole from the rebellion and just not really care about anything.
Yeah, she's like, whatever, I don't care.
That's why her name's Dream. She had dreams, and now they're gone.
Boom. Now she's sad because she doesn't have dreams anymore, but she has some money. Maybe she's got like a really slick, spaceship, but she's like hidden it or something. Back on Century.
But not anymore. Now doesn't have it on some other planet now. She's in the prison planet fighting monsters. Truth serum starting to go away.
Yeah.
She's upset, obviously, when it does, and she's like, why would you? That was mean. You shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
When we get out of here, I'm done with you guys. And they're like, no, but we like you.
Ethical standards much? You're a goon. And you don't have any ethical standards.
They arrive at Shin's parents' house, only to find that they left the planet to find him. And he's like,
so ironic.
That sucks.
They left a note.
That's annoying. So now they got to get off the planet.
Yeah.
End of the episode. Episode 3, they go to the planetary shield generator. And Venture incites the crowd by, mentioning their issues and also talking about why they should destroy the shield generator.
She does the one thing she's best at, annoying people. And she annoys them into destroying the shield generator.
Well, she's like manipulative, She's not annoying.
Yeah.
I mean, she does, diagnose people, but she's not like, I don't want to get the impression that she's annoying.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
She's not an annoying character.
She's smart and manipulative, but she's a little naive also.
Sort of like in the first 3 episodes, she gets the idea that she shouldn't prescribe everyone, and she only sort of mumbles it to herself.
Yeah. Maybe
she can't help it.
Yeah, she keeps a notebook and she just writes down like everyone's name and their
problem. That'd be
Mm-hmm.
fun if we have like an over-the-shoulder view as she's talking to someone and she's like has trust issues.
Schizophrenic, smells
Isn't
funny.
over his ex.
Thyroid issue, big boned, all these like things that's not even that's not even a diagnosis of anything. That's just a mean thing to say about somebody. It's like, no, I'm a psychologist though, it's fine. It's our job.
So with the help of the masses, they managed to destroy the shield generator and steal a ship. 2 ships actually, because Dream says she's gonna ditch. She's like, fuck you guys, I'm out.
I'm done.
Venture and Shin are upset. Forgot to mention this, but Shin and Dream have been sort of developing a thing. It's not, concrete at this point, any sort of relationship or feelings, but it's clear that there's something going there.
Yeah.
Shin's sort of like the idealistic dreamer, which is what Dream used to be.
Yeah.
And so they've got like this sort of opposites attract thing going on.
Yeah. Little bit of will they, won't they? They won't, because Dream's getting on a different spaceship.
Dream's like, fuck you guys, I'm out. See ya.
Yeah.
Episode 4. The gang goes to Eclipse and finds that his parents have been coerced to join the rebellion.
And then they attack
the
Death Star.
No, he's dead or something.
Yeah.
We gotta, the government did it,
Yeah.
They were convinced by the rebellion that the government
Hank.
killed his son after they took him.
Yeah. They ate him.
And so they join the rebellion. The rebels are really just terrorists at this point now. Because they work for they're working for the corpse to help try to destroy the government, because the corpse had a change of heart, and they're like, we're gonna destroy Sentry, and then Earth can't do anything about it, and we'll just own the system now.
There you go. Bing, bang, boom. Easy peasy.
Because the Corp War is destroying Phil's, and they don't have the resources, and now they want the resources of Sentry, but the government owns those.
Oh.
Gotta take out the gov.
Gotta take out the gov with our guns and our goofy goons that we've coerced into fighting for us.
So, the gang, Aggro, Shin, and Venture try to free his parents, but no, they're captured, just as Venture calls Dream and is like, Dream,
please
help us, Obi-Wan, your only hope.
Yeah, and then
and Dream's like,
they're fighting the Death Star, and next thing they're going down the whatever thing to drop the thing into the hole.
Open the container level.
Yeah, and then Dream shows up and she's like, yeehaw, get him, kid.
Oh.
And she hits the guy with the thing and makes Darth Vader spin out of control. And then, and then she goes and she gives Jabba the Hutt a little kiss on the cheek. And it's all good.
Ooh.
I wish that's how they resolved the issue between Han Solo and Jabba the Hutt. Instead of freezing him, he just gave him a little kiss.
Episode 5. They try to escape and fail, but Dream rejoins and sneaks through the rebels.
Yeah.
So she's like, hey, I'm back, and they're like, hey, Dream, what's up? And she's sort of sneaking around. She's like, to the lowly people that she finds, she's like, yeah, no, I've been a part of it the whole time. I was just on a mission. They're like, oh yeah, that should make sense.
Yeah, missions. We do those.
And she's avoiding, Handsaw and all them. And she sneaks them out, and just as they're getting out, they get caught, and Handsaw's like, Dream, blah, you destroyed us, we're gonna get you. And she shoots him.
Maybe
he's not dead.
Maybe he has his thing is during the first time during her backstory, his name is Handsaw Hank, and she slices off one of his hands, and then when they meet again, he's got a handsaw. Like, he's got a saw for a hand, and he's like, Dream, I'm gonna get you. And then this one, she shoots off another one of his hands. Next time we see him, he's got 2 handsaws.
Now he's called Handsaws Hank.
Yeah, and he's running around. He's not happy about it because he can no longer, unzip his pants.
Yeah, a little difficult.
Or pick his nose or anything like that.
Alright, last pre-written episode. Episode 6, they flee to the Paches, because they're also on Eclipse. But the Paches are like, we're all about peace, man. No violence. And they kick them out because they're like, hey, You bring in hate here.
Yeah,
we don't have
man.
hate.
Yeah,
No hate, man.
Maybe
Get kicked out.
they kick all of them
and
out?
they find themselves working with the 646 because those are the last other people here.
Yeah.
And the 646 are, they're a corp, but they're not overly,
evil,
crazy or anything.
Is Shin's parents...
And, Ferris, as you remember, Ferris Frank, he's kind of like a chill guy, very accommodating. So they get there, and he's like, yes, I'll give you drinks. And, do you need anything? Oh, you'll like some tea? Here's some tea. Oh, do you need a room? You can have my bedroom. Sure, I'll give you all my officer suites.
Yeah, that's nice.
We'll sleep in the bunks. It's okay. Yeah, take them. Oh, no, it's great. Please, yes. That sort of thing.
Uh-huh. Okay. And are Shin's parents still with the crew at this point?
Yes, but they're gonna stick around with the 646 now.
Yeah.
Because they're older. They're not up for this.
They're not up for
thing.
space adventures anymore. They were on a prison planet. They escaped the prison to go live in the woods of the prison planet. Then they got off again somehow. It's good. Maybe we can have like a scene where Shin hugs Dream when they save her, or when she saves them, and then when they're escaping, it's like the Shin's parents go up to, or Shin's mom or dad or something goes up to Dream and she says, "Oh, you're a great choice. My son made such a great choice. You're lovely."
He's told us all about you, and she's like, "What?"
Yeah. What? We're not together. Oh.
I met him like days ago. What are you talking?
Well, he likes you. And then Shin's like, "Mom, shut up." Because he has reverted a little bit to a child, because this is the first time he's ever had parents.
His parents are back. Yay.
Yeah. Yay.
Boom. Season arc. Working with the 646 and Ferris Frank to defeat the terrorists. Throughout this, Dream is sort of questioning the moral grounds of working with the Corp, but also the rebels. They want to blow up Troy, which brings us back to the Trojan horse. That's probably where they put the bomb.
Yeah, they constructed the bomb like when they originally built the city as a fallback scenario, but it's been deactivated, and they're sending agents into the city to reactivate the bomb so they can remotely explode it, and they have to stop the agents from stopping.
So now they gotta destroy the bomb,
so
that it can't blow up the whole city and planet.
Millions
so that the corpse can be private and the system can be theirs.
Yeah. But that's like, well,
so they stop them. That's the whole season arc, is that they'll stop the bomb.
Yeah.
The sort of subplots of the season are Dream and Shin getting together. Dream's resolving her trust issues.
Yeah.
Shin, finally finding love in his parents.
Handsaw Hank coming
Venture
back.
finishes her book.
Oh, good.
Handsaw Hank definitely dies at the end.
He dies. He dies in a hilariously apt way. Like he gets cut in half by a big saw or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Falls into a circular saw. Or a wood chipper. Oh, that could be cool. Gets turned into a bunch of people chips.
Venture finally finishes her book and sort of reconciles with her parents.
Mm-hmm.
Aggro, still a piece of shit. He's a robot.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
But Venture is eternally interested and begins a new book all about his issues.
Yeah.
But Aggro loves it because Aggro thinks that it's about like his troubles and exploits and stuff.
Uh-huh.
But it's really just about psychoanalyzing a crazy robot.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. That's a fun subplot. And that could be the ending of the show,
they're all walking off.
Dream and Shin have like this, that they've not settled down, but they've started this life together, and then Aggro and Venture are like, "Oh, what are we gonna do?" "Oh, well, you and we could always go on adventures." And then they walk off into the sunset, and it's like, "Oh, that's pretty good."
Yeah, Aggro could be like, what are we gonna do now? And Shin's like, well, I'm actually gonna start my new book. And he's like, oh, what's it gonna be about? Me, maybe?
Uh-huh.
And she's like, well, actually, yes. I was thinking about doing blah, blah, blah. He's like, oh, this is amazing. Let me tell you about my exploits when I was a young teenage bot.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. And she starts, copying around like he's making up stories. Blah, blah.
Making up tons and tons of stories. Season 2, it's set 10 years later. Aggro no longer talks to Venture because he read the book she wrote about him, and he was not happy.
And he can't read, so he didn't actually read it, but he bought the audiobook.
He bought the audiobook. He got David Attenborough to read it to him.
How come a robot can't read? He's like, don't worry about it. It makes sense.
God, why are you so ableist, is what he says. And everyone's like, that's not what that means. And he's like, well, I'm unable to read, so it seems like it's exactly what it means. And everyone just rolls their eyes. Oh, Aggro, you heavily marketable scamp. We're going to make plushies out of you. You're going to be on a lunchbox. It's going to be great.
You're going to be great. It's going to be awesome.
Well, I like that a lot. The Far Out. I would watch this show.
Here's a little sneak peek, Charles, of the thumbnail. I just sent it to you.
Ooh.
It's pretty cool. I'm going to be honest. I was like, we should do like the old cool font.
That is cool. I like that a lot. That's fun.
A little sneak peek there.
Well,
anyway, that was my show. That's all I got.
I like it. Well, thank you all for listening to the Very Reasonable Pilots podcast. And thank you again, Jacob, for giving us that lovely televisual series for us to imagine and hopefully one day sell to HBO and then have them make a $30 million pilot and then shut it down. If you like what you heard here and you want to hear more, please give us a like, a follow, subscribe on Spotify, Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, all sorts of stuff, YouTube, and tell your friends about us. Maybe they also are VRP heads. Is that what our fans are called? VRP fan. I'm the only fan.
I thought they were passengers because we're pilots.
Ah, that makes sense. If you meet any other passengers out there in the wild, please tell them that we should have some t-shirts. We should make t-shirts for the show.
I'm more of a hat guy, to be honest.
Oh, yeah. Or hats. Or we should both get tattoos of the TV show. How about this? I get V and half of an R, and you get the other half of an R and a P. How's that?
How about you do that, and I don't?
Okay. How about V on one cheek, R in the middle, and then a P on the other cheek? That'd be good.
Goodbye.
Bye.